Coming up, we take a look at the potential contributions from 4 brand new transfer infielders for LSU baseball in 2026, plus another disgusting loss at home for LSU men's basketball Wednesday night against Mississippi State. The season is over, folks, and so is Matt McMahon's career at LSU. It is over. Book it. Welcome into another episode of Babin on the Bayou. I'm your host, as always, Justin Babin Jr. It is indeed Thursday, January 29th, 2026, officially episode 14 of the Babin on the Bayou show. Thank you, fine folks, for tuning in. Hope you're having a great one. Let's get into it. So let's lead the show with some LSU baseball talk, some LSU baseball preseason talk. So what have we talked about already this week? Well, I brought up the returning outfield trio of Curiel, Stanfield, and Jake Brown. Derek Curiel, Chris Stanfield, and Jake Brown. A trio that I think could wind up being the best outfield in America in 2026. Super excited for all of those guys getting back. We talked a little bit about the pitching staff yesterday. We also talked on Tuesday about the catcher position with LSU sophomore Cade Arambidi actually being the LSU MVP basically for fall ball, according to Jay Johnson. You also got Omar Cerna Jr. As the backup catcher, probably behind Cade Arambidi. Both Arambidi and Cerna Jr. are former Texas high school players of the year when they played baseball in high school. But in the infield, there's a lot to talk about because positions aren't really filled besides shortstop. We know a returning LSU junior and Steven Milam is going to play shortstop, but at third base, second base, and first base, you have a variety of guys that are going to compete for playing time. So I wanted to take some time today to break down 4 transfer infielders who transferred into LSU and really talk about their strengths, talk about what they've done at their prior universities, guys to look out for, guys that are all going to compete for playing time. So you brought in 4 new transfer infielders from the past offseason. So let's start with Trent Caraway from Oregon State. So Trent Caraway from Oregon State, according to D1 Baseball, is the number 13 transfer hitter, according to D1, and he's also ranked as the number 87 overall college prospect for the upcoming 2026 MLB draft, according to D1. So when you look at Trent Caraway's numbers at Oregon State, he batted .281 over 2 seasons with 20 doubles, 14 home runs, and 57 RBIs. He was voted the 2025 NCAA Tournament Corvallis Regional Most Outstanding Player, and he hit 6 home runs in the NCAA Tournament in 2025, which broke the Oregon State record for home runs in a single postseason. So Trent Caraway, impressive numbers at Oregon State. I think in the regular season at Oregon State last year, he kind of struggled hitting-wise, but he really turned it on and had a phenomenal postseason for Oregon State in 2025, hitting 6 home runs in the NCAA tournament. So right now it's looking like Caraway on opening day will be your starting third baseman. That's what it looks like. I mean, these 4 transfers that we're going to bring up, all of these guys, most of these guys can play multiple positions, and they're going to compete for playing time, especially, it's not locked down who's going to play second base, first base, and even designated hitter, DH. But I would say Trent Caraway, he's got pretty good defense, and he did some really good things, especially in the postseason for Oregon State in 2025. He's most likely going to be your starting third baseman on opening day, February 13th, against the University of Milwaukee. So you move on to Zach York from Grand Canyon. So Zach York from Grand Canyon, you can't miss him. He's 6'2", almost 300 pounds. He was ranked by Baseball America as the number 34 overall transfer in Baseball's America list of top 100 transfers this past offseason. So York played for Grand Canyon for 3 seasons, and he played really well over those 3 seasons, hitting .328 with 32 home runs. He holds the GCU record for both home runs and RBIs in the school's Division I era. I really like Zach York. Obviously, he's kind of a slugger, but he's also a guy who hits a lot of line drives and a lot of doubles as well. So he doesn't just hit for power, right? He doesn't just hit homers and that's all he does. He hits a lot of line drives as well. He surprisingly moves pretty good for his size at first base. So look, I think when it comes to Trent Caraway, he's going to be assumably you assume he's going to be your starting third baseman. Between Zach York and the other two transfers we're going to talk about, and then you have a returning Tanner Reeves as well. You have some competition at second, first, and then DH. But I would say Zach York is likely going to slot in at first base, maybe DH as well. But I would say he moves pretty good at first base, and he's got some real pop in his bat and hit some good line drives as well. I mean, he hit 32 bombs in 3 years at Grand Canyon. He doesn't have to cheat for power. Again, he's also, he moves well for his size. High Point transfer Braden Simpson had a monster year at the plate in 2025 in terms of offensive production for High Point. So Braden Simpson at High Point in 2025 batted a whopping .389 with 24 doubles, 22 home runs, 78 RBIs, and 75 runs scored. Look, I mean, that puts him at number 9 on D1 Baseball's list of top 50 transfer hitters. Look, Simpson had a monster year at High Point University, and you're looking at him as a guy who can come in and hit again well for LSU. I mean, I know the competition at High Point is not as good as it is, in the SEC or anything like that. I understand that. We all understand that. But I mean, 389, 24 doubles, 22 homers, had a monster year. Did Braden Simpson at High Point in 2025. He's going to compete for, some of these guys are going to compete for that second base, first base, DH position. So that's going to be interesting. And then the last one is Kansas State transfer Seth Dardar. So when you talk about Seth Dardar from Kansas State, he also, similarly to Simpson, had an impressive 2025 at the plate for the Kansas State Wildcats. Dardar batted .326 with 18 doubles, 13 homers, 45 RBIs, and 39 runs scored. One of Dardar's homers in 2025 actually came off of Cade Anderson in an early season game in Frisco, Texas. I believe that was the second week of the season. LSU went to Frisco to play in one of those early season tournaments with 3 other teams, and they played Kansas State on that Friday. And Seth Dardar actually hit a homer off of Cade Anderson in that game, which Cade Anderson was arguably the best pitcher in the country in 2025. I mean, he's going to be in the MLB. He was a top 3 draft pick in last year's MLB draft when you talk about Cade Anderson. So Seth Dardar had an impressive offensive season as well. So I wanted to talk about these transfers, specifically the infield transfers, because I feel like the infield is really interesting. Obviously, in the outfield, Churiel's going to play center. Jake Brown's going to play in right. Chris Stanfield's going to play in left. Cade Arrambide is going to be your starting catcher. Maybe Omar Cerna gets some time as well. But Arrambide will be your main guy at catcher. In the infield, outside of Stephen Milam, who will be your shortstop, it will be interesting between third base, second base, first base, and even DH as well. Like I said, I think Trent Caraway is going to end up being your third baseman to start the season. But between, I think you have at second base, first base, and DH, you have Braden Simpson, Zach York, Seth Dardar, and a returning Tanner Reeves. And then you also have a few freshmen who we'll get into in later episodes, and guys like Jack Rucker and guys like that. But I think right now it's going to be really interesting, and there's going to be a rotation at the start of the season. I mean, the first 4 weeks of non-conference play, LSU is not going to play the elite of the elite. They are not going to play SEC caliber teams, obviously. They're going to play teams that they beat, teams that they run rule. Obviously, some teams are interesting in the non-conference schedule, and we'll get into the schedule breakdown, I believe, next week. But when you look at it, in the infield, you're going to have Dardar, York, and Simpson all compete for 3 positions. I would think Caraway is going to be your starting third baseman. I would think York is probably going to get a look at first base, be the guy to get a look at first base. But I think all of these guys between Caraway, York, Braden Simpson, and Seth Dardar all offensive guys. They can contribute. The thing is, who can play the best defense? Obviously, in 2025, LSU had a phenomenal defensive team in 2025. One of the best fielding teams we've ever seen at LSU in terms of elite defense. And I feel like that's going to be because all of these guys can hit. You look at their numbers, and all of these guys can hit. I think it's going to be interesting to see matchup wise who can play the best defense. Tanner Reeves is a guy. He's a good offensive player returning for LSU, but he struggled at times in the field. He struggled defensively. If he struggles in the field again this year, and guys like Dardar Simpson and York, do better in the field, Tanner Reeves is going to struggle to find playing time. Like that's a reality. So outfield is set. Catcher is pretty much set. Shortstop is set. But I think between third base, second base, first base, DH, there's going to be a rotation of guys, especially in non-conference play at the beginning of the season. I think tomorrow, or in one of these next episodes, either tomorrow or Monday, we'll look at some transfers you have on the pitcher's mound, and we'll kind of do some more stuff throughout the week, covering and splitting things up. But I wanted to cover specifically the 4 transfers in the infield that you brought in. All of these guys can hit. They've done pretty well in practice and fall ball hitting as well. It's going to be interesting to see who's the best defender. I think that's going to definitely play in the Jays' mindset. But just wanted to talk about those 4 infield transfers because, again, I think the infield is where, besides Steven Milo at shortstop, you're going to see the most rotation and the most competition at the beginning of the season in non-conference play. All right, let me take the quick opportunity to tell you about our wonderful daily sponsors here at the Babin on the Bayou show and the team over at Shield Heating and Cooling. And we've talked about it before. You're talking about a team of experts with decades of experience in the AC industry as experts. I love my audience. I want to help you guys out. And we're giving something away. We're giving something away to you. If you call the great, trustworthy, reliable team, the best in the business at Shield Heating and Cooling today at the number 225-46-BAYOU. 225-46-BAYOU. That's BAYOU. And you tell them you heard about them from the Babin on the Bayou show. I'm giving away free AC system cleaning checks for every AC system in your home, whether you have 1 AC system in your home or 4 or 5 AC systems in your home. It doesn't matter. If you call the wonderful team over at Chilled Heating and Cooling today, tell them you heard about them from the Babin on the Bayou show. Again, that number is 225-46-BAYOU, BAYOU. I'll be giving away completely free to you, saving you money, a sign of my gratitude towards you for tuning in to the Babin on the Bayou show. I'll be giving away free AC system cleaning checks for every AC system in your home. Again, that number is 225-46-BAYOU. I really hope you take a part in this giveaway, and that's Shield Heating and Cooling, your local comfort defenders. All right, so a quick update on the LSU football front. Obviously, with the transfer portal being closed, there hasn't been as much news relating to LSU football, but there is some stuff that came out yesterday, and the main thing is that the number 1 cornerback in the country for the 2027 class, that is Joshua Dobson out of North Carolina, will be taking a trip to BR to visit LSU's campus this weekend. Again, Joshua Dobson is the number 1 cornerback in the nation for 2027 from North Carolina. LSU is currently trending in the battle for the top corner in the nation for 2027, with other schools like Auburn, Texas A&M, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Notre Dame. So that's a big one to keep an eye on the recruiting trail. There's been some Lane Kiffin and his offensive staff have been doing a couple of visits with a couple of potential high school recruits over the past week since the portal has closed. Joshua Dobson is a guy to keep an eye on. I think tomorrow I'll be coming out with a ranking of the top 10 transfers that I think can really contribute for the LSU football team in 2026. I think I'll come out with that list tomorrow. A fun thing to cap off the week and really cap off the transfer portal. I'll be coming out tomorrow with my top 10 transfers that LSU has signed that I think can really contribute to this team in 2026. All right, we gotta have a conversation about LSU men's basketball because it's over, guys. Like it's over. I know Matt McMahon. I know he's a great guy. I bet he's a great guy. I bet he's a decent coach. Even he's not doing it at LSU. He's not doing it at LSU. In 4 seasons, he has a record in SEC play of 15 wins and 50 losses in 4 years in LSU in Baton Rouge, and a ugly loss, a disgusting loss on the road against an average at best Mississippi State team for LSU men's basketball. I mean, LSU lost last night in the PMAC at home, 80-66. The Tigers are now 1-7 on the season in SEC conference play. They just got ran off their own court. Like they completely, like it was like they didn't show up last night. Completely, both sides of the ball were terrible early and often. I mean, when you look at the numbers, it was just ugly. I mean, Mississippi State had a 20-point lead only 10 minutes into the game. 10 minutes into the game, Mississippi State was already up by 20. I mean, LSU's offense had probably the worst half of the season in the first half. They started 4 of 15 from the floor, while Mississippi State started 11 and 18 from the floor, including 4 of 6 from the three-point line early for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And look, this Mississippi State team is 2-5 in SEC play. Coming into that game last night against LSU, they had lost 5 straight SEC conference games. Mississippi State fans are probably upset that they won last night because they want to get rid of their coach. They want to fire their coach. This is not a good Mississippi State team. And LSU, we talked about it last week. Yes, you were going to struggle at Florida and at Arkansas. It was going to be a difficult week for you. But if you had any chance of recovering, it was these next 2 games against 2 teams that are 2-5 in SEC play in Mississippi State last night, and then you play South Carolina at South Carolina on Saturday. And you got embarrassed last night in that first half. Again, this defense is not good at all. I mean, it is hard to watch this defense play basketball. It's atrocious, guys. I mean, when you look at it. And the offense was bad last night, too. They had a season-low 21 points at the half. It was 44-21, Mississippi State leading at the half. LSU only shot 9 of 28 shooting from the field in the first half. They were 2 of 8 from the free throw line in the first half. You can't even make free throws. You struggled with that late in the game against Kentucky. I mean, look, it was terrible last night. Terrible showing. There's no fire from this team. There's no energy. It seems like there's a lack of effort on the defensive side of the basketball. It is not good for Matt McMahon. It is 15-50 in SEC play in 4 seasons at LSU is fireable. You should be gone, man. It's just not good enough. And I'm sure Matt McMahon's a great guy. It's like I've heard great things about him as a person, and I hate, I hate saying that somebody should be fired. But bottom line, 15-50 in the SEC in 4 seasons is not gonna cut it, and you should be gone. And this team season is over. They're 1-7 in SEC play. You need to get to 9 SEC wins to have a shot in the NCAA tournament. And I mean, I don't even need to talk about it because to get to 9 wins, this LSU team would have to go 8-2 in their last 10 SEC conference games, which we know is not happening. They'd be lucky to win 5 of those. They are a poor defensive basketball team and a poor basketball team overall. And again, I'm sorry, but that was embarrassing last night. That was embarrassing. You know, the South Carolina thing that you're playing on Saturday, don't forget they came to the PMAC a few weeks ago, and you made them look like the 2017 Golden State Warriors in the first half. With the lack of effort on the defensive side of the basketball, it is just bad. The season is over, and I'm afraid it's time for Matt McMahon to be done at Louisiana State University. I'm sure he's a great guy. It's nothing personal. But again, 15-50 in 4 seasons at LSU in SEC conference play is just not good enough. It's not good enough. I mean, the Tigers' next game is Saturday at South Carolina at 5 p.m. on the SEC Network. Now, you look at that compared to women's basketball. Women's basketball is on a roll right now. The number 6 team in the country. I mean, they've won 5 straight SEC games. Women's basketball and Kim Mulkey and crew are back in action tonight, Thursday night in the PMAC against Arkansas at 7 on SEC Network. Plus, I mean, you look at the programs, right? You look at the athletic programs here at LSU. The Big Four, or the top programs at LSU right now. LSU football, yes, you're not, you had a bad season, but you got Lane Kiffin, you got the number 1 portal class in the country. It's trending up. You're going to be a playoff contending team going into 2026. LSU baseball, best baseball program in the country, best college baseball coach in the country, N.J. Johnson. Women's basketball, you're competing for national titles every year with Kim Mulkey, won a national title in 2023, and in 2024 and 2025, you got to the Elite Eight. Gymnastics winning national championships. Softball trying to get to the College World Series soon. But when you look at men's basketball, we're just wanting them to make an NCAA tournament in 4 years, and you can't do that. You can't, again, it's just, it's over. It's done. It's not good enough. And the fans aren't interested. There's complete apathy from the fan base right now with how LSU men's basketball is performing. And, it's over for Matt McMahon. I'm sorry. It just is. But, look, I'm excited for tonight. Women's basketball back in action. Excited for them to play Arkansas at 7 tonight in the PMAC on the SEC Network. Plus, they have been rolling. Flau'jae Johnson, Malaysia Fulwyland, Michaela Williams, Jada Richard, just been rolling. Number 6 team in the country. And I'm excited to see them in action tonight. But that is it for the episode today on this fine Thursday. I thank you folks so much. I thank you for tuning in from the bottom of my heart. Remember, like the video, share the video, tell a friend about the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed. I thank you folks so much for tuning in. And remember, God bless, go Tigers, and have a great one.